Solomon AD here, guys. Tips to get possessed. Somebody asked me this on YouTube. Hator Labalos. So, some people have a hard time getting possessed. Sometimes this is, there's a bunch of ways this could happen. I know there's a lot of people that have videos up on this. I know VK Jahanam has a few on this. There are spirit mediums out there. I've trained, not just trained, done rituals with them. I've done business with a lot of high level people, high level spirit mediums. They can channel anything from ghosts to big deities. So, so let's get to the tips. So the first one is, let's address those people that are naturally good at it. Some of them just have a gift. They have a gift and you cannot replicate it. They have their camera. They have their destiny, if you will, and that's working with the spirits like that. And they're just always going to be like that. But that leads me to tip number one. Just basic increasing your clairvoyance. Anything. When you try to raise your clairvoyance in general, it's like going to the gym and having a whole body strength program. Everything gets stronger. So if you do tarot in a way, it will supplement your other senses. If you do pendulum work, it will supplement your other senses. If you do a third eye ajna chakra meditation, it will supplement the rest of your senses. Now, it's not going to supplement them to the point, like, if you specialized in one of them. Like, tarot's not going to give you a kundalini experience, but it will open up general senses that could lead eventually to higher kundalini activity, if you will. And possession's another one of those tricks, because it's basically talking to spirits with more boundaries just whisked away. So, number one, general raising of psychic abilities. Number two, in truth, you don't really want to be possessed by some spirit that you don't really want to have a close relationship with. For example, I get possessed by Samael. Doing a group ritual, I had done a group ritual with about Hecate, and I was possessed by Samael. Hecate jumps in to have relations with Samael. I didn't have a problem with it, but on my spare time, I'm not going to try and get possessed by Hecate. I'm not that close with her. Got respect for her, but she's not one of those ones that I seek an active relationship with, so I'm more than likely not going to get possessed by Hecate. Now, we're talking about friendly possession here, not like forceful possession by those creepy things, like exorcist type shit. So, because you don't want to get possessed by something you don't want to have an affinity for, you have to develop a close relationship with that said spirit. So that's tip number two. Develop a close relationship. That takes time. And essentially, they will acclimate your psyche to be more receptive to them and to their current. Tip number three. The nature of the spirit. I think some spirits are easier to get possessed by than others. It's just a part of their mythology. It is a part of their natural skill set. For example, Kingu. I have reason to believe Kingu's probably the easiest major god, or big god, primordial, big spirit that a person can get possessed by. Reason being because in Sumerian mythology, we are all created from his blood, meaning that he's already inside of us. And I have had experiences that suggest this very, very much. That Kingu is near effortless to get possessed by. Which he has. He's kind of just jumped in, or jumped out, rather. And then there's some that are clearly opposed to humans. Like I think that's why it took a long time for Samael, but because he is opposed to humanity in a way, as far as one mythology is concerned. He did not bow before Adam, so he stands opposed to Adam. Um, so it's not the easiest one. So then, what was I going to say? Tip number 4. What's number 4? What was it? Number 4 is it's kind of like developing a close relationship with the spirit, like tip number 2. But if you want to incorporate the qualities, the personality qualities of a spirit into you, this is something that possession benefits very much. It's this is a slightly different intention, but you want to have a close relationship, and you really want to exude the characteristics of this spirit. This is why I worked really hard for Samael, and I have acquired many of his characteristics as a result. But I wanted to integrate his personality into mine. I don't want to do this with every deity. Say I did this with I would not want to do this necessarily with like Ixchel, the Mayan moon goddess. Feminine moon goddess, I'm not trying to integrate my personality with like that. Maybe some certain qualities like here and there to balance out, but that's not like my default personality. Whereas I have a major portion of it is Samael. And then my 5th tip is a big one, probably requires its own video, probably requires its own seminar, and that is ritualizing possession / making a pact. And the thing is that it's not as simple as like just making a pact, like just writing it out. Sometimes it can be. I think it would be easy. I just got a ping from Pazuzu. Is that if maybe easy with him if you just like outline it in a pact, but there are some when it comes to pacts. There's a lot of tricks you can do. Like there's a lot of like astral stuff you can do. There's a lot of bonding beyond just writing a letter that you can do to integrate your spirits with them. So yeah, that just puts a lot more muscle into it. It's contractual, and then it's also you're doing some kind of binding to the spirit. And I actually have a 6th tip, and the 6th tip is all about you, the Magi. If you have certain psychological traits, then certain deities are going to be easier to assimilate into your psyche, making it easier for possession. So kind of like how in the past tip I said it's the qualities of the spirit, like their mythology, that may make them easier to, for them to possess you. In order for you to be possessed by them, sometimes it has to work the other way. What spectrum pieces of your psyche are most habitable to those spirits? So if you're typically an angry person, maybe you'll channel Martian style spirits a lot easier. If you are like a Taurus's Taurus, maybe Venusian style spirits will be easier. If you're more of a love and light kind of thing, maybe angels specifically. And, etc., etc., etc. But those are all the tips off the top of my head at the moment, as far as how to get possessed. May that serve you well.